Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser here with Biz Tweaks. And today I wanted to talk with you about business automation. So, automation is kind of one of those buzzwords everybody likes to use, sort of like analytics. And it really conjures up feelings of large business, large enterprise, like very in depth technical things that make processes run easily. In actual practice, though, automation is very, very simple to do. And honestly, every small business, medium business, and large business could be doing business automation. Now, why would you want to do business automation? A lot of times, whenever I talk about these tools, people always focus on the price and they're like, well, these tools might cost me some money. It's going to be like $20 a month. And, over the whole year, that's going to be, $240 and blah, 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 blah. So to answer that, first off, you can get started with this for free. So the primary platforms for most small business integration is going to be Zapier, If This Then That, which is IFTTT, or Integromat. And each of these do have a free tier that you could use. Now, even if you do have to pay, this is the way that I want you to start thinking about this. So don't think of this as an expense that's not bringing anything back, because if that's the way you're doing your business automation, then you're doing it completely wrong. What you want your business automation to be specifically geared for is either to do more marketing and bring in more sales, or to replace tasks that someone is currently doing manually. And if you look at it as the task replacement method, then you can see that spending $240 a year to automate some processes that you have to do to do your sales is going to be way, way cheaper than hiring somebody, even at $5 an hour. If which is you can't find anyway. Even VAs are most of the time going to be VAs or virtual assistants. Even virtual assistants are going to be more expensive than $5 an hour nowadays. So if you can automate that one thing and save hours and hours and hours of time every year with this business automation tool, it's well worth that trade-off, even if you have to pay. And like I said, to get started, you don't have to. They offer free tiers, so you can get familiar with the platform and get your first integrations out there. So every business, I don't care who you are, should be using some form of automation. Now, everyone always thinks that automation is going to be like robots, like building things and putting cars together and painting, or some artificial intelligence that's combing through terabytes of data to pick and glean out like little bits of information. And those are certainly some forms of it, but most small businesses, what you could benefit from so far as automation goes, is just automating a marketing email. That is a form of automation, because you do not have to manually send 10,000 emails and remember to send it at this date and this particular time. So marketing emails using something like MailChimp, or maybe your CRM offers some sort of email campaign system, then that is a form of automation. Another one that I personally like to use that really comes in handy in the real estate business is I automate the connection from my customer relationship management software with all of my contacts in there to my mobile phone. So every person that I come into contact with, that I enter into my CRM, their phone number, email address, and name transfers over to my cell phone. And what does that do? So does it directly result in a lot more sales? Not that I can directly show. However, there's a lot of power in being able to answer the phone and saying, "Hey, John, how's it going? What can I do for you today?" It just shows a high level of professionalism and that you really have your stuff together. Other things that I like to do, like I said, the email sequence. And that could be, most people, whenever they think of like marketing email, they think of like mailing an offer to people, or blasting out like a monthly newsletter, something like that. What I like to do is, again, in my CRM system, and if you're not using a CRM system, that would definitely be my my number one thing to tell you to do. Go take a look at my number one business secret. If you're not using a customer relationship manager, you're living in the Stone Age, and we need to move you up into at least the 1990s. So I do have other videos that cover the utilizing CRMs and how important they are and why they should really be the central hub of your business. But today we're talking about automation. But what I like to do with my email marketing sequences in my CRM software is to basically have an initial onboarding email sequence. And you can set this up in MailChimp, and there's other ways you can leverage this and do this. But at its root, whenever I put a new contact or lead into my customer relationship management software, I do set them as the type of lead. So for real estate, I have like a buyer's group, and then I have a seller's group, and then I have a vendor's group, and like other agents group. And depending upon how I set that, I send them at least 8 emails, one every day or 2, basically just introducing myself, laying out kind of like my origin story, how I go about conducting real estate transactions, what separates me from other agents, and just other fun stuff like that, just little tips and tricks, whether they're buying or selling a house. I do that to rapidly build a relationship with that person. And here's the great thing: I don't have to remember to send those emails. It is automatically laid out in my CRM system. So all I have to do is put name, phone number, email address, set that it's real estate, and then what group they're in, seller or buyer, and the software takes care of the rest of it. And it's been set up like that for years now, and I have not had to touch it. And it's a great way to save yourself a tremendous amount of time, and also to end up closing more deals, because you do rapidly build that relationship. So basically all automation is doing tasks that you would otherwise have to do manually, and also connecting systems. One of the other ways that I use automation is to tie together like Facebook leads and other landing pages type things. So like I have a website where people can go and request like a home value. And then, so I have a website with that landing page. And then I also have Facebook ads with their lead capability. So I can capture those leads. And I have both because I'm always testing stuff, and I always want to make sure that I'm using the stuff that is performing the best. So with both of those, when you generate leads off those, it generates basically a list of, name, email address, phone number, address, all this stuff. So instead of having to manually remember to take that and download it like once a day or once a week and upload that to my CRM software, automation using Zapier, Integromat, or IFTTT, basically it automatically happens. So as soon as that lead hits my website, as soon as that form gets completed, or as soon as that Facebook lead gets entered, these tools monitor those, takes that information, formats it properly, and then inserts it into my customer relationship manager. And then here's the other cool part: that step of automation that I spoke of before, with that, where they automatically start receiving that introduction sequence, that automatically happens as soon as that gets entered into my CRM system. So you can see just there, I have basically, most of those tasks are probably handled by an assistant for most businesses and real estate agents. I know for sure they're usually the ones, that get stuck with the data entry part. With a little bit of automation, you could basically completely eliminate those tasks. And there are a tremendous amount of examples that can be done. If you have anything that bugs you that has to do with like sending emails or marketing or follow-ups or appointment reminders or scheduling meetings, all of that stuff can be automated. If you're interested in any of those, leave me a comment down below with what you would like to automate in your own business. I'd be happy to put together a video showing how I do those in my own business. Like I said, I have automated most of those already. One of the key founding principles of BizTweaks here is that I fully believe that utilizing software tools will allow most small and medium-sized businesses to punch way above their weight class for not a lot of money. Because like starting off, I didn't have a lot of money, so I had the shoestring a lot of this stuff together, because otherwise these little tasks will take up just too much of your time, and you can actually focus on serving customers and doing the things that will actually get you paid. So I did mention virtual assistants earlier. I'm going to do another video on those because those are their own kind of special breed of automation, if you would. But yeah, today, software tools, look up Zapier.com. You can get started there for free. Integromat.com is a little bit different price structure wise, but it'll automate most of the same things that Zapier will. Zapier is definitely the 800-pound gorilla. And then If This Then That would be good for more like consumer stuff. So if you do a lot of if you just want to automate stuff on Facebook and messages and stuff like that, If This Then That's going to be a great way to do it. So honestly, the other good thing about these is with all the connections that Zapier has, it can connect to your Microsoft 365 account, Google Mail. You can just, if you don't have a, sorry, hit the microphone there. If you don't have a CRM system, you can just start putting all this stuff into a Google Sheet just to save, which, hey, then you could automate sending out direct mail letters or like who knows what. But you have to get started on this stuff because it's going to save you so much money, so much hassle with having to train people and get these processes refined. Like, just eliminate all that, automate it. The tools are very cheap. At worst, if you have to pay for them, they're like $20-$40 a month. Like, it's not a lot of money for the time and effort that it saves you. So if you have anything that you would like to automate, again, leave me that comment below. I will tell you how I solved that problem. And other than that, thanks for tuning in. This is BizTweaks, and I'm Kyle Sasser. Talk to you soon.